Welcome back to another post-meeting Ottawa Senators panel. I'm Bruce Garrioch, pleased to be joined today by Wayne Scanlan of Sportsnet.ca, former Ottawa Citizen columnist, and Nick St-Pierre, the French play-by-play voice of the Ottawa Senators on Unique 94.5 FM. Guys, thanks for joining us. And as we sit here today, the Senators are coming off a 4-3 shootout victory, in Vancouver. Put a little knife in the old Vancouver Canucks playoff chances, which is always nice to see. But one of the guys I've seen emerge this season, Nick, is Tim Stuetzles. And I think going into the season, we thought the Senators had to go out and get a genuine number one center. I don't think we look at that as a need anymore when you have a 1-2 punch of Tim Stuetzles and Josh Norris.
Yeah, there's one problem that's solved definitely, and came a little bit as a surprise because nobody's going to try to challenge me saying that I don't think there was a future for Tim Stuetzles and the center for this organization when we picked him up. And the injuries and the time actually provoked things. And finally, trying him made the thing work very good. So Tim Stuetzles and Josh Norris, you said it, Bruce, it's a 1-2 punch for many, many years. And that's a good thing. And look at how we grow over the course of the last few weeks, his assurance with the puck. And there's always seems to be something going on. Honestly, like nothing's perfect, and have to probably work on his efficiency on the face-off circle. But Rome wasn't built in one day. But at the moment, I think in the center line for the top two, we have your 1-2 punch, and Tim Stuetzles definitely is part of it.
Wayne, do you see a day where Stutzle overtakes Josh Norris as the number one center?
I wonder if we've already seen it, Bruce.
Yeah.
And just to go back to what Nick was saying, isn't it interesting in hockey how so often something great happens by accident out of adversity? I mean, we wouldn't have had the Hamburglar run if the Senators hadn't had a crisis with their goaltending, and maybe if they didn't have a crisis with their goaltending, we wouldn't have Anton Forsbergs coming up this year, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that as well. But Stutzle, I think, has developed beyond expectations, and he took off almost from the moment he got shifted from left wing to center. And what a great thing now that they've got the 1-2 punch. It really doesn't matter who's number one and who's number two. DJ Smith has options for running those two. It's a great thing to have. And probably at different times, one is going to be thought of as a 1 and the other as a 1A. But it's probably the brightest point of this season is the development of Tim Stuetzles.
Nick and Wayne used the word running those two out there. Are you concerned at all with how much I feel teams are running Tim Stuetzles and the way they're treating physically? Certainly in that Vancouver game, I thought he was targeted.
Well, he's going to have to live with it because, playing at that position, he's definitely going to be part of the plan. So, I mean, might as well get used to it because if that becomes a problem, well, we might have a problem. No, I don't know. Being a target is part of being an elite player. You'll have to maneuver through that. I think right now he's pretty good at it. But again, there's going to be some time is going to be more difficult than other. The importance to have someone to protect him and create some space for him. But that's something that belongs to the general manager to solve. And at this moment, Stutzle being a target at such a young age, I come back with the word assurance, shows us a lot of assurance. And his game just only beginning. So he's going to grow. He's going to be better and better. And being a target is going to become something of the past to me. So with his skate, his ability and his stick handling, the guy's not going to have a problem with that.
One area we've seen that... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Wayne.
No, I was just going to say he's only 20 years old. He's just starting to mature physically. And you know what? He brings a bit of it on himself because he likes to play with an edge, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, no, good point. And one of the areas, though, that I think the Senators are going to have to address in the offseason is goaltending. And I don't mean from a standpoint of going out to get a goaltender. I think Anton Forsbergs' emergence, Wayne, has changed the goaltending picture. And I fully believe that if Matt Murray is back next year, he's going to have to fight for the number one job. And they've tried handing it to him. It didn't work. But I guess the point I'm getting at here is we're probably not going to see Matt Murray this year. Do you think he will be in training camp next year?
It's such a great question, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think on this, because in some ways I can't see it, because I feel like when he's around, it's a bit of a distraction. The guys aren't sure, is he in, is he out? Is he a guy we want to play for, go through a wall for? I think Forsberg is that guy. And Gustafsson, he showed last night that he's going to be on a one-way next year, right? So he's a guy that I think is going to be in the picture. So do they buy him out? Last time I crunched the numbers, I think it would cost them $2.5 million over 4 years to buy out that contract. It's a significant amount of money. Can they trade that contract? He's got to have, he's got a no move clause, but yeah, in a way, I can't see him part of the picture next year.
Where do you go with this, Nick?
You buy him out. White has a solution.
My personal feeling is that's not an option. My take is, and we'll talk about where this organization is at later, but I'm buying him out. Let's do this for you guys. You can't buy him out, Nick. What are you going to do?
He's a backup, and he might be a third goalie. If Gustafsson plays like he played yesterday, he hasn't been stellar, but he gives us the play of a backup goalie. Anton Forsbergs, can you challenge that? The guy is the number one right now. They have to start like that at the camp and for the beginning of the season. Hopefully there's no injuries. There's nothing coming to stop that. But as far as Murray, and to avoid a distraction, Wayne, and I agree with you. It became some side of a show by itself and a distraction. And I don't think the team plays with as much assurance, I guess this is the word today, in front of him when he's in front of the net. So Murray, if you're not buying him out, you put him on the side and you make him wait his time, because depth chart at this moment, Forsberg, Gustafsson, and Murray maybe.
I think one of the things you could try and do, and I guess you'd hate to see him go elsewhere and play well, is you could try and eat some of the salary and trade him, couldn't you? I mean, if it's going to cost you $10 million to buy him out, maybe eat some of that money and see where that goes.
If they're willing to chop to take a chunk of that salary, I have no problem with that. You can trade him, but again, like with what he gave us, can he really be a temptation for any other team? I don't know.
Yeah. Lots of teams looking for goalies, though, guys. And just look at this year, the number of injuries, and it's always a bit of a merry-go-round. So I do think that is a possibility, Bruce.
Nick, the Senators will play their final home game against the Florida Panthers Thursday here at the Canadian Tire Center, and then close out the season against the Philadelphia Flyers the next night on April 29th on the road. We would like you to go to Claude Giroux and just get him to sign a promissory note that he's going to come here in the offseason if he wins the Stanley Cup. In all seriousness, do you think that the Claude Giroux to Ottawa talk is realistic? Do you, maybe if not next year, but do you see that at some point in his career where he plays here?
Why not? And it might be now. Yes, totally, Bruce. And the guy can help. I think coming here as a supporting role, he's going to have his role in the top six. Right now, we have Formenton that I think it shows that he's more of that player on the top 9 instead of a top 6. And it's all right like that. Nothing to give away from him. But you need that veteran presence. And Claude Giroux gets all this the smart check. Like, he's from the place. The spotlight's going to be on him, but a little bit from behind. He's going to be here to make those kids grow, a big supporting role in that locker room. You need that veteran with that experience. And after he wins the Stanley Cup this summer, well, that's going to be done. So we can become here a good leader, his part of this team, and why not another Stanley Cup in a few years?
You know what? I think Nick better put some money down at Vegas. Wait, he's got Florida for the Cup, and I don't disagree with him. But one of the things I wanted to say to you, Wayne, is can you imagine Claude Giroux just working on faceoffs every day with Josh Norris and Tim Stutzle and Shane Pinto? Just the effect that could have.
Oh my God. And that's just part of it, Bruce. I mean, I was going to talk about that, but Nick really highlighted a lot of the features that he brings. Veteran guy, he's skilled, he can score, he's been through the playoff grind. And as you say, like he's one of the great face-off guys in the league. And having that every day, a great presence to have. And in a game, he might line up on the wing. They're suddenly pretty deep at center. This team that used to be kind of thin at center, you bring Shane Pinto back, and they're pretty strong down the middle. Now you have the option of playing him at the wing, and now you've got two centermen on the ice maybe at the same time. Josh Norris gets waved out, and you bring in Claude Giroux, or the other way around. Like it's just a really, really important piece to add to the picture here.
One of the important things that we're going to watch for in the next few months is the future of the franchise. And right now it's status quo with the passing of owner Eugene Melnick. He had a 3-person board in place that's running the team right now. Sheldon Plenner, his Toronto-based lawyer, who was with him for all 19 years that he had the franchise. But we heard some interesting talk on CTV Ottawa from Roger Greenberg, expressing interest in being part of a group. The team's not for sale, so you can argue all you want about his timing. But I just wonder what your thoughts are that, guys, before we head out for the day.
I
Nick, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think it has to be looked at as a positive thing. Here's a local guy with deep pockets. He's part of that powerful OSEG group that operates the 67s and the Red Blacks. And the fact that, Bruce, you've written about this, the fact that they're teaming forces to try to bring the World Junior Tournament here, I think it's a kind of a sign of a thaw in relations between the two sides that haven't always gotten along. So I think that's a positive. But as you say, the ownership thing's going to have to play out. There's going to be other groups that might be interested. The team may not be for sale, or they may be just looking for, a partner to come in a minority way. So there's lots of ways this thing can shake out. But I think it's positive, the fact that OSEG could be interested.
There's a lot of scenarios, and I was saying yesterday on my show that it's only the beginning. And to go back with what Wayne is saying, it's very positive, knowing that within this city, there's people that have lots of roots in this market willing to actually pitch in to buy the team. And again, like, it's only speculation. And I think the approach of Mr. Greenberg is just like raising his hand. And if by any chance there's a door open, well, I'm definitely interested. There's nothing aggressive in his approach, and that's all right. By respect to the family, again, let's say that the for sale is not happening right now. The team is not for sale at this moment, but it could happen at the end of the season. We're just waiting. And I'm very anxious to actually see what are going to be the announcement or the news coming from the family or from the team at the end of the season to tell us where is this ship going. So at this moment, for me, Mr. Greenberg talking like this is very positive.
Yeah, I do think, quite frankly, it'll be a year before any of this is settled. I think it will be status quo for the next 12 months through the end of next season, and then we'll see what happens. I also believe that if you look at the past history with Gary Bettman, if you speak publicly, there's probably not a good chance you're going to own an NHL team. But we'll leave it there for today. For the Post Media Senators panel, I'm Bruce Garrioch. Thanks to Nick St-Pierre, the French play-by-play voice of your Ottawa Senators on Unique 94.5 FM. Great commercial for you there, Nicky. And Wayne Scanlan, former Citizen columnist and Sportsnet.ca contributor.